So I'm going to show you one of the easiest things to do to make a display for Derwenthorpe Aglow, and that's a candle. And I've got a piece of black card which you will be supplied in your pack. And so I'm first of all going to draw, and I'll use this edge as one edge, and I'll come this way and just basically draw the outline of the candle. But in order to put the coloured paper in, we need just to also mark out the inside of our candle. And I'm just going to also do a little thing here. As a matter of, that's a little bit of interest, the candle wax dripping down, but you don't have to do that. And then we have to get the flame, so we're coming up something like this, a little bit of a twizzle on it, and back like that. Now that's the outside, and again you need to mark in where the actual flame will come in that, and you'll see that we fill that in later. So then you take scissors and cut out the shape. Now you can do this with scissors, or you can use a knife of some sort. I'll show you. A craft knife is great. Scissors work okay for this sort of thing, although obviously it's slightly more difficult to get into the more intricate places. Around the outside this works fine. So I'm just going to go down there. And if you have got a craft knife of some sort, and you can use a board, you can use a sort of Stanley knifey type thing like that, or if you've got a craft knife like this, it's very good. Obviously with children you've got to be really careful because these are very sharp. Just following the line round so that we get this candle flame. And again the other side. And as you'll see, there are different ways of making the candle flame, and you can create a sort of glow shape around it, which is also really effective. And we'll show you a few of those examples as well. So just coming round now to the the actual candle bit. Doesn't have to be fantastically accurate. So as we come round here, and again, if you have got a little shape like this, it's easier with a knife to follow those lines round. But if you're doing it with children, it can work with just scissors as well. So when that bit comes out, you are left with a shape that is absolutely ready to put your tissue paper in and make into a candle. So next you need to choose what colour tissue you want to use, and I'm going to put in this some quite bright sort of orangey for the flame. And when you're using this, don't stick it right in the middle because you'll waste the rest of it. Just put it near the edge. You want it just overlapping that a little bit, and then you can draw around the outside there with the pencil Oh, slipped. And it's a little bit fiddly because the tissue paper is very thin. And I'm probably doing it a little bit quicker. And then you can cut this out. But you'll notice I went round the outside. So when you come to cut it out, you don't really want it to be showing on the outside. So if you come just inside the line, you'll be fine. That rhymes, doesn't it? Okay, just inside the line there. Taking it round for the shape. And just inside the line this side means that you won't have overlapping bits. You can cut the overlapping bits off afterwards, but it's just a bit more fiddly. And you don't want it to be too small, otherwise you've got to start again. So basically, that's my bit of flame that fits without sticking out on the edge. And what I tend to use is some Pritt stick, and I just go round the edge of the dark piece here, just making sure you've got bits of glue all over, and then you can come back with your tissue. Make sure you place it pretty accurately. You can use PVA glue. That's, some people really prefer that. I've sometimes used that, but I tend to go for this. And trying to just place it in a way that it doesn't overlap. And when you've got it like that, you press it and just make sure it's glued. Now this can get a little bit sticky, but you're fine, and this will dry. So that's your flame, which you can't really see from that side, but when you turn it over, you can see the effect that it has. When you're putting on these pieces of tissue, you want to make sure you put them all on the same side. It's easy when you're doing more fiddly bits to get a bit confused about that, and then you have to take them off, because otherwise you're left with that on the outside and it's not the right side. Okay, so I'm going to put a piece of purple on this, and this is a slightly easier thing to draw around because it's quite square. Just going to come down the side of that. You can't see that maybe, but it's just at the bottom. So literally I've got this shape, and again I want to come just a little bit inside that line, because you've got a little bit of room to play and you don't want things sticking over the edge. So we're just coming inside that line, which is the guide for us. This can be a little bit awkward to cut. In fact, I don't find this so easy to cut with a knife, although I'm sure some people manage quite well. Just checking that fits all right, which it does. So then again, with the Pritt stick, just going round the edge. It doesn't have to be massively accurate actually, because so long as it's mostly stuck, you'll be fine. And the tissue paper sticks very easily to this or to PVA. PVA may stay a little bit longer workable, but I find the Pritt stick not quite so sticky. So I've got the PVA round, and now I want to place my tissue on. I'm just trying to be careful not to go over the edge. And you're wanting just to stretch it out so it's lying flat in the middle. You don't want too many creases. It's not too hard on this bit. Just going to get that thing there. Okay. So as I turn it over, you can see this candle is now formed, and when you stick that in your window, it really, with the light behind it, it really shines very beautifully, and as people see it in their windows, they're filled with joy of the season. So you imagine it's dark outside and you put that in your window and it's really beautiful, isn't it? And you can do it and make Derwenthorpe aglow.